Welcome to Elevate Your Mind, your number one podcast for peak performance strategies that will enhance your mindset, develop your emotional skill set, and maybe, just maybe, be the catalyst to create positive forward momentum in your life. Here's what's to come from today's pod.
Your mind, your body is wired to make you survive. It is your job to make yourself thrive. And if you are not thriving, you are barely, at most, surviving. Boom! And we are live. Guys, welcome back to Elevate Your Mind in 2025. This particular year, I remember this time last year I was sat here and explaining the plans I had for this year. And I've got new plans for 2025 and they are going to absolutely blow your mind. Blow your mind. And this being our first particular episode of this year, we're going to get off to an absolute cracker. But honestly, if you're not already, follow on social media, subscribe to my newsletter, follow us on whatever platform it is that you're listening to this, whether it's on Spotify or YouTube, because you are not going to want to miss what is coming your way over these next few days, weeks, and months. Because 2025 is going to be a year where we absolutely take this to the moon. And so I wanted to get started by that because, as I say, I remember sat here last year with all of these plans and goals for the next 12 months, I should say. And we superseded those in many, many ways. Many ways. And that's exactly what we're going to do this year as well. And that is also part what I'm going to be talking to you about in this particular episode. Because you see, the amount of conversations that I have that go along the lines of something like, I just open my eyes first thing in the morning and anxiety hits me, or anxiety's with me all day, or I get morning anxiety the worst. Let's get ready for an education today then, because we're going to really realise that this isn't the case whatsoever. Like I've said many, many times, you don't have emotions. You do and you use emotions. And if you haven't watched that particular episode yet, go back a couple of episodes and watch it, because you'll see they are not something that we have. They are something that we do, and they are something that we use. And if you are someone who struggles with morning anxiety, quote unquote, if you are someone who struggles with it consuming you all day, a huge part of that reason is because you are not using your emotions. So you are being used by your emotions. Interesting. If you are someone who wakes up with morning anxiety, as we're calling it, and as what I'm focusing on this particular episode, it could be morning anything, by the way, limited emotion wise. If you're someone who wakes up with morning anxiety, you are being used by your emotions. But why is that? Well, this is what I'm going to explain to you. Because you see, the way that we are wired, the way that we are built, the way that our biochemistry, our nervous system works, is that our emotions are there to be utilized and to be exercised. I'll say that again. Your emotions are there for you to be utilized and exercised. Now, let me ask you a very simple question to get this podcast rolling. What is an emotion that you would like to feel more of? Tell me. Just say it to the screen, say it to your earphones, say whatever, tell me. Some of you have said calm, confidence, purpose, passion, drive, excitement, love. Great. Now let me ask you the second question. What are you currently doing to utilise or exercise that emotion within you? Now that's a thought process, isn't it? Now we're thinking. Why? Because people, for some reason, they think they just have this God-given right to exercise and utilise any emotion that they want, but without actually exercising or utilising them. What? People think that, because they got this mind and body for free, there was no charge when you got this as far as I'm aware, because you got this mind and body for free, that therefore emotions are just there at your beck and call and you don't even have to do anything for them. No. Your body, your mind is wired to make you survive. It is your job to make yourself thrive. Okay? I'll say that again. Your mind, your body is wired to make you survive. It is your job to make yourself thrive. And if you are not thriving, you are barely, at most, surviving. And that's what some of you are experiencing up until now. Because you see, when it comes to this, we need to understand that any emotion out there, confidence, calm, peace, joy, excitement, love, determination, ambition, they are all emotions that are sat on a shelf waiting to be utilised and waiting to be exercised. But you need the avenues to do that. If I'm speaking to someone and they're saying, I'm waking up, Matt, and anxiety is hitting me first thing, then you are being used by your emotions. Why? Because you are not exercising or utilising the ones that you want. Let's say, for argument's sake, let's say tomorrow I said, you know what? It's the start of a new year. I want to treat you. I'm going to pay an all expenses paid trip for 7 nights in the Maldives for you and 3 loved ones. You have to be at London Heathrow Airport at 7 a.m. to catch that flight. Is that all right with yourself? Do you think you're really going to come back to me and go, well, thing is, Matt, tomorrow morning I think I might be doing anxiety first thing in the morning, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. No, you're going to get up with the energy, with the zest, with the passion, with the purpose, with the excitement. Get your ass out of bed, let's go. And you are going to be straight down that airport full of excitement because you know that the sunny Indian Ocean and the white sands of the Maldives is waiting for you, or destination of your choice. You see, emotions need to be exercised. They need to be utilised. I've said it 4 times. I'm going to probably say it another 4. Because if you're dealing with morning anxiety, and I keep coming back to this one because it's so common amongst people, I guarantee you wake up first thing, and correct me if I'm wrong. Send me a message after this if I'm wrong. But you wake up first thing and you start analysing, or you start body scanning, or you start thinking about your day, or you start thinking about the things that are going to go wrong or could go wrong, or is today the day that I'm going to be able to get through it, or is today the day that I'm going to feel it even more? And by this time, it's been a couple of minutes now and I've just opened my eyes and I can already start to feel my heartbeat starting to increase a little bit now. And I'm already starting to feel a little bit jittery before I've even started my day. And now I'm already getting into my day and I'm already on the back foot. I'm already trying to play catch up in a day that has already got on top of me. Why? Because I'm being used there. I'm being used by my emotions. I'm waking up, I'm fretting, I'm worrying, I'm worst case scenarioing, I'm looking at all the bad things, I'm scanning, I'm doing all of these things. Guess what? When you was on your way to the Maldives, you weren't doing none of those things. People's biggest quote unquote problem here is not that they have anxiety bad. No, it's that you are not exercising and utilising the emotions that you want through avenues that make you feel purposeful and passionate. Simple. Create avenues that make you feel that way. You know, I don't get up every single day of my life, roll out of bed, do a backflip, do 5 bunny hops and go, right, I feel the best I've ever felt ever. And I do that every single day. Of course I don't. I'm not a robot. I'm a human being. Sometimes, especially with what I've got going on in my life at the moment, I might get 4 or 5 hours sleep and I wake up that next morning and I'm like, we all know the saying, I feel like death warmed up. But I get up and I get at it because I know that my emotions are there to be used. I know if I start my day on the back foot, it's just going to snowball. It is just going to snowball. Your first 30 to 90 minutes of your day are the most important minutes in your 24 hours. without a shadow of a doubt. Your first 30 to 90 minutes of your day are the most important minutes in your 24 hours that you've got, without a shadow of a doubt, because what it does is it has a knock-on effect. It has a ripple effect of what happens in the rest of your day. If you are getting up and body scanning and checking and opening your eyes and, oh God, what do I feel about this today? And you've got no drive, no purpose, no passion, no excitement, no love, no way of feeling calm first thing, whatever it is that you said was your primary emotion that you want to feel, if you're not exercising that first thing, you're going to be playing catch up. Why? Because this mind and body is wired for you to survive. It is your job to make yourself thrive. The reason I'm bringing you this particular podcast episode at the start of 2025 is because at this stage, some of you have got New Year's resolutions, you've got mini drives, you've got mini purposes. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be that way long term. I'm showing you exactly what it is that you need to have in place. I spend a long time with my clients when I work with you, either one-to-one or in group programs or whatever program may be, talking about emotional intentions. What am I emotionally intent, emotionally focused, emotionally driven and purposeful about wanting to go and achieve in my life? Because if not, I'm going to sweat the small stuff. I'm going to get caught up in the small stuff every single time. Why? Because your emotions need to be used. I'm going to keep saying this. It's not a case of, okay, I'm going to be emotionless. No. That's not the way that you're biochemically wired. It's not the way your nervous system operates. People are, I just don't want to feel anxiety. Great, what do you want to feel then? Because not feeling anything isn't an option. You're going to feel something. Even if there's someone who you say, oh no, they don't show emotion. Well, they're using their nervous system in some way. So they might be depressed, they might be sad, they might be upset, whatever it may be. Our emotions are there to be used, and if you're not using them, you will be used by them. So therefore, my question for this whole main part of this podcast is very, very simple. What is it that you want to feel most of, and how are you going to exercise and utilize that, ideally within the first 30 to 90 minutes of your day? Why do people get up and do meditation? Why do people get up and go to the gym? Why do people get up and do an ice bath? Why do people get up and read a book? Why do people get up and get stuck into their task, their biggest task of the day straight away? Why do people get up and go for a run? Why do people get up and go for a walk? Why do they? Well, they might say, oh, because, I like taking this, I like doing that, I like whatever. The main reason is so they can exercise some certain emotion within them first thing. It gets them feeling a certain type of way at the start of the day. Oh, I just love getting up and doing exercise because then I feel like it's out of the way. Great, it's a big win in your bank. You've already got a sense of pride and accomplishment, and that ripples throughout your day. We sit there, we open our eyes, we scan, we do this. We're already choosing, and I'm using the word choosing, to be used by it. Now, some of you listening to this are going, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I can see how this happens. I do that, Matt. You're right. I absolutely do that. I know you do. That's why I'm bringing you this episode. So then you say, okay, but it's just all I've ever done, though. I've done it for so long now. Great. So you've got a habit. Simple. You've got a habit. It's not you. It's not who you are. You've got a habit. So how do you break a habit? Well, first of all is you find a better alternative, and then second of all, you start changing your actions and the things that you're doing. So you change a habit. It's like someone who has 2 scoops of sugar in their tea and they don't want it anymore. They're like, okay, well, instead I'm going to have 1 sweetener, and then they don't just think it, they do it. Like, sorry to make this so overly simplistic for you, but truthfully, life is simple. It's made complicated by humans. Everyone's got their reason for why. Everyone's got it worse than someone else. If I had £1 for every single time someone said, I've got it worse than someone else, or to the effect of, honestly, it wouldn't just be you and 3 relatives in the Maldives. We'd be taking the whole family and extended family. because I hear that so much. It's not that you've got it worse than anyone else. It's just that you haven't exercised or utilised more of the emotions that you want for a long time, and you've been stuck in that certain way for so long. Let's change that, shall we? Let's start to change that. It's 2025 now, for God's sake. Some of you have been this way for the last year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years and beyond. You know, I know if you're listening to my voice or watching me on YouTube at this stage, I know you've seen my content. I know that you've seen all the results. I know you've seen people's amazing success stories. They're exactly like yourself, who were sat there listening to my content and it resonated, and eventually they said, enough is enough. Let's change the thing. And then they chose to take action on it. Do it. Not necessarily, you can reach out to me if you want, but that's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying do it for yourself. Otherwise, you will be used by your emotions. I'm going down the route of morning anxiety here. This could be anything. It could be when I go to work. It could be in general situations. It always happens around this time of day. This is what happens. Do any of you ever have it, right? Do any of you ever have it where you have it throughout the day, anxiety, as people call it? They have it throughout the day, but then it gets to 3, 4, 5 p.m. and then it starts to subside a little bit in the evening, and then you get a bit of respite in the evening, and then you go to bed and you know it's going to all happen again the next day. Why do you think that is? It's because your nervous system for that whole day has been used. That whole day has been used into a certain, that it's exhausted, that then, and then you start to feel a little bit of calm. But it's not a good way of feeling calm. It's because your nervous system is so exhausted all day from having to be used and being pulled around and being here and being there and being this and doing. And that's sometimes one of the reasons why. Instead, if you just used it and you switched it on when you want, and then you tapped into a different emotion when you didn't another time, you'd have a completely different experience of life. The start of this year, very, very simply, what are the emotions that you want to feel, and how are you going to exercise and use them? Because when you start to do that and you start to exercise and use the emotions that you want in your life, not be used by them, guess what you won't be exercising and using? Exactly. Anxiety, worry, fear, doubt, dread, overwhelm, whatever it may be. You think I'm wrong? Try going for a run and doing weighted shoulder presses above your head at the same time. See if you can do it. You can't. You can only use certain emotions at one time. Try and be fearful and appreciative at the exact same time, simultaneously. See if you can do it. Hint, don't bother. You can't. It's biochemically, neurologically impossible. Impossible. It's not the way that the science within your body and mind operates. They're two completely different ways that your nervous system operates to be able to access those emotions. Exercise and utilise the emotions you want. I'm going to keep saying it. Repetition is the mother of skill. I'm going to keep saying this. Some of you don't have those avenues yet. I think it's about time you create those avenues. If you wake up first thing in the morning and you're on the back foot, scanning, questioning, not sure, what's this, what's that, stop. Stop. Start to ask yourself, how do I want to feel first thing? Am I someone who wants to get up into the day and actually attack the day, feeling purposeful, passionate, driven, confident, motivated? Am I someone who likes to feel calm, composed, whatever at first thing in the morning? Great. Start to analyze exactly and hone in on what's the emotion you want to feel. Then ask yourself, what do I need to do that? And then do it. And then start to do it. Because when you start to exercise it, you'll start to feel more of those emotions. And then you'll start to say, you know what, Matt, I don't feel as much morning anxiety anymore. Voila. Because you're exercising and utilizing the emotions you want. What better time for you to do this than at the start of 2025 now? I've got so many things that are going to be coming your way, but ultimately this is the crux. This is the absolute foundation of it. You put in the emotions that you want in the driving seat of your life, not in the passenger seat, not in the back seat, not in the boot for some of you. Start to exercise and utilize the emotions that you want in your life. Let's do it. Don't just talk about it. Don't just think about it. Let's do it. And of course, throughout this year, if you want me to help you, if I can serve you in a deeper way here, let me know. I'd be more than happy to serve you in many different ways. Many different ways. I have many different avenues and options for you to achieve these goals that you want. This is something that I'm obsessed about, helping people break through and break free the limiting emotions that hold them back. If you want to be next, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you. But for the meantime, become aware of these two things. Because when you can become aware of these two things that I've just mentioned here, what's the emotions that I want to feel? And then how am I going to exercise and utilize that? Do it in the times of day that actually benefit you the most. Ideally the first 30 to 90 minutes, because that will have a ripple effect throughout your day. It's 2025, team. It's time we take control. Do not fall into the fatal mistake of making 2025, I beg your pardon, the same as 2024. Do not make that mistake. Please, for your sake. Because a great life doesn't happen by chance, it happens by design. Heard that from someone else. It's a great quote. It happens by design. You know, this mind, this body is wired to make you survive. It's your job to make you thrive. There's enough quotes there to see you through the whole year. Guys, take this forward. If I can serve you in a deeper way, please do let me know. I look forward to seeing and serving you very, very soon. 2025 is going to be the year of exponential growth, big time. Let's do this. Have a great one, team. I'll see you very, very soon. Take care. It is time to elevate your mind.